Um, as you guys know, our topic today is social media and digital tool and how we can leverage in HR profession. If I have to give my 2 cents on that, I would say that um, digital tools are important not only for HR people but every profession nowadays. The world is becoming digital. If you don't know those digital tools, you might not be able to perform in your current profession. So we have Mr. Himanshu with us today to spend some time with us and take us through all those awesome digital tools which HR professional can leverage to be a better professional in their life. So let me talk a little bit about Mr. Himanshu here. So he has 17 years of industry experience, both in technology and training. So I would say a perfect person for this webinar because this is something both in technology and training. He's the CEO of Online Troubleshooters and also a founder of Cyberism and We Make Brand. So these are the two other organizations he runs. He's also the founder of Offline LinkedIn Community and a trustee of IGJA Foundation. He's a member of IMC Delhi. He's also one of our advisor, if you must have noticed in the slides I was showing. And he's a technology consultant for various NGOs. So welcome, Himanshu, and I hope that we all will get benefited out of it. Um, then I would also like to call upon our co-partner in this webinar, which is Young Minds. Young Minds is basically a 12 years old organization which is into HR services, providing recruitment, soft skills training, AI-based HRMS software, and personality assessment. So we would like to thank both Young Minds and Himanshu for being part of this initiative and helping us. With that said, Himanshu, over to you, and I hope that everybody will enjoy the session.
Thank you, Govind. A warm good afternoon to everyone, and good to see people are here on Saturday afternoon. So, at my side today, I will be sharing the tools we have been researching, and these tools are never ending. So, we keep on adding them every day. So, when I say we are going to share some tools today, it's not the end or it's not the starting. Once it's over, we will be in touch always to share more, because knowledge sharing should keep on going on a regular basis. And whatever we are doing today, we are going to do a bit of practical. So if you have got a question in question chat, we'll be happy to answer in mid of the session itself. So can I have one yes if you can see my screen?
Yeah, we can.
All right. So thanks to HRCS Talk for inviting me here and getting this done. And I can say last 2.5 months, we specifically as an IT company and we as a consultant had been helping a lot of people in learning tools, because COVID has shown a lot of new things in our life, that online tools can really be a game changer. But still people are struggling or finding what tool to use, what not to use. So the tools we're talking today, most of them are free or freemium. So 90% we talk about free tools. The only problem with the tools is if you don't implement. So for implementation you need to spend a bit of time, and if you're using a tool on a regular basis, let's say for some 15-20 days, I can guarantee you that tool can give you a lot of productivity. So to start with, uh, this is the only slide that talks about theory, so at 1% theory will no harm. So what kind of technology or what kind of role technology can play in your verticals? You start with security, decision making. You can save your time and money, a lot of time you can save if you're using tools. You can connect your customers in a better approach. The communication becomes easier, and you can market you are very well. For example, these days we are working on a concept called attachment marketing, and then you can of course globalize. Sitting at one place, you can globalize. There was a time when you used to travel, go for a lot of meetings. Now what's happening? At home we are doing all these meetings. I'm starting with one of my favorite tool. some of you might be using in real time, some of you might not be, but this has been always one of my favorite tool, Google Alerts to start with. What Google Alerts do is, it is like an automation for your search. You are looking to search something and you have to spend time on the Google to search what's new happening related to a particular keyword. Now, instead of searching something yourself, how about Google gets you an automatic reply? When I say automatic reply means if something new is happening related to that particular keyword, Google will send you an email. So what you need to do is you need to just sit and relax and check your email that if any new thing has happened. So let's see a practical part of it. Can I have a yes if you can see my screen changing and going to
Yeah,
google.com?
yeah, we can.
Perfect. So whatever links tools we are talking about today here, I will be sharing those tools link in the chat window so that you can copy them and use them for a later purpose. To start with, we have done.com/alerts. So these are some of the alerts I have created. We can add n number of alerts. There are no limit to it. Now let's talk about adding a new alert in HR. So because now today we have a lot of HR people here, so I'll be using the word HR. Apologize in advance if I'm using a wrong term because I'm not a HR person. So let's say you are searching for what new policy changes are happening in HR. So what we do is we go to Google and we say HR policies, and we get results of whatever HR policies has come around. Now, instead of doing this, I'm creating an alert here saying HR policies. Now, do remember when you're writing HR policies, for you it's one word, but for Google it is two words. So we will start the word with inverted commas and end with inverted commas. Now, what's going to happen is it is one word HR policies. If you're not going to put this inverted commas, Google is going to search HR separately and policies separately and HR policies as one word. So your search will become too large. The numbers will not come correct. You can see a difference if I remove the inverted commas. See in the bottom area here, the search is going to change. If I put inverted commas, the search will be a bit different. Now, after this is done, we will click on show options, and then Google is going to ask us, do we want this particular alert to come once a day or once a week? So I'll prefer once a week because once a day will be tough. So we will go for once a week. So what will happen every week? Today is what? Friday. Friday 12:17 p.m. every Friday. So you cannot decide the time. Google will send an email every week, Friday 12:17 p.m. to your email. Now, if you want this email to come at 9 in the evening on Sunday, do create the alert on Sunday 9 p.m. So what I mean, when you want the email to come in your mailbox, create the alert exactly on the same day and the time so that Google can follow that rule. After this, let's talk about source. In source, we normally prefer keeping automatic, but if you want something related to books or something related to website or blogs, you can choose your category. Otherwise, let's leave automatic. Language of your choice and region. So let's say I'm looking for HR policies for India, but if you have a company and you're working with, let's say, Norway, US, any other country, Bosnia, Eastern Europe, you can select the countries from here and you can create multiple alerts so that sitting in India you get alerts about other countries related to HR policies, and then we will say create alert. Now this alert has been created. Now I'll repeat again, every week Friday 12:17 p.m. I will get an email from Google that will say whatever new links has been generated related to HR policies, it will be hitting me using this alert. So right now it says there are no specific result has been created. So if any new links come in, I can click on the alert and see here also. Like for example, I made this link yesterday. So this is another alert I have, discount coupons. So it is showing me these links. And these are latest. So they are not going like past 1 year, 2 year. It will only show you what is latest in the past 1 week because we have set what? 1 week duration. So that's a small tool, Google Alerts, a free tool by Google. So you can save it for what purposes? Let's talk about HR. You can use keywords for getting alerts related to policies, documentations, or if you want to track an email address. Let's say you want to track an email address if one of your employee is applying for a job. I can add the email address here. I'll say abc@yahoo.com, so that if this email address is applying somewhere on the internet, for example, if a person goes to Glassdoor or Naukri.com or any other website and apply for a job or something, the thing get listed on Google. So if I enter the email address here, or if I enter the name here, so anything which Himanshu Singla is doing, I get an alert. You can do reverse also. You want to know about a company, you want to apply for a job, and you want to see what that company is doing, because when you're going for a job, it is important to know what that company is doing in the market. So I can create an alert for a company. So I have added my company, let's say online troubleshooters with inverted commas. Now I can create an alert here, so that whatever new is going to happen related to online troubleshooters on internet, I'll get a notification. So it is like you can track keyword, company, individual person, anything. And it's purely legal, because we are doing what? We are just creating an alert on the Google searches. You're not tracking any person's life. You're just tracking the search of Google. So that's about Google Alert, guys. I don't see, Avijit, that Google Alerts get normally miss. I will suggest to check your email once. But like if you have filtered on your emails, normally then they'll go miss. Or if there are no searches coming up. So if, let's say, if you have no searches coming particular to that keyword, then only this can be a challenge. Otherwise, it works fine, because I've been using last many years. So just check your filters in the email. All right, moving ahead. So next is Google Reverse Animate Search. A very, very small tool as similar to Google Alerts. It's exactly similar. The only difference is with Google Alerts, where is my tool? Yeah. What Google Alerts is doing, we are creating alert and sitting back and relax. Google Reverse Search, Image Search is basically on spot. So let's see a small demo of it. Changing my screen again. For this, we will be using two different websites. One is google.com, you are already using on a regular basis. Another is images.google.com. Pasted on the chat window for you. Now let's go to Google, and we are searching something, let's say HR law during COVID. Now the moment we search something, the results are there, which says this results is of May 23, March 5th, April 27th, May 5th, and so on. I want to check in last 24 hours or last 1 hour what new has happened related to this keyword. So we'll go to tools, select any time, and from here select past hour, or you can select past 24 hours, past week, past month, past year, and so on. So you can keep on changing the years and month, date, or years, and it will show you that in last 24 hours, so last 5 hours back, this link has been created on this website, and so on, talking about COVID-19. Now, as we have not put inverted commas, that's a thumb rule of Google. It is searching for different words. I'll change it one word. Now you will see the search has reduced. It says I cannot find related anything to HR law during COVID. So maybe I can say HR rules COVID. Again, you can search. It's not able to search anything anyhow. That's a different story. So with this small tool, it's called reverse search basically. You can see what's happening new on the internet. That's your Google reverse search. Similar to this, we have Google reverse image. So what Google reverse image do is, we go to images.google.com, and you have an image. Uh, I'm gonna do is I'm gonna find out logo of hrsuccesstalk.com. Let's say it's an image. So here we have the logo. I'm saving this logo in my system. Now I'm going to image. On the right hand side, you will see search by image. I'll click here. I'm going to upload an image. Image has been uploaded. Now what Google Reverse Image is going to do is going to tell us that the image which we have uploaded has been used by what all websites. So this tool is to verify that if an image of yours is misused, or if you want to check like where all your particular image has been uploaded, you can upload the image and create a trigger, and it will give you automatic results for the same. Now, what all purposes we can use it? I just pasted a logo. In US, one of my friend uploaded it to find his car. He lost his car. He uploaded his photograph of the car, did a Google reverse. Someone posted the car photograph on a website, selling website. It tracked the number plate. So it's like, if the image exactly matches, sometime it can show you unsimilar images also, because with a car, the same car, the same color can be uploaded at multiple other places. So sometime it can be tricky, but if you have an exact image, you can upload it and figure out the difference here. So that's Google reverse search. To add on this, let's try one more tool, which is not in my presentation, but again, one of my old and favorite tool. So it's 12:26 p.m. and let's say 1 p.m. you have a presentation to give, and the presentation topic can be anything. You're sitting with your head and you don't know what to do. The presentation you have to create, you got 34 minutes of your life to create a presentation, no content creation done. Or maybe you have to create a format of a document. So what normally people do is they go to Google and search presentation on HR policies. So the moment I search this on Google, I'll get a lot of links. Now, the next thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the links one by one, and you will be open with a website. You will go through the website, see if there is a presentation. Some can be free, some can be paid, and you're stuck. So 24 minutes of your life are gone already searching something. Instead of this, let's use this keyword short code of Google. We will say file type, put a shift semicolon. I will say PPTX. So you need to know the extension of what you are searching. So for example, if you have to search a Word file, I'm typing this on the chat. You have to search for a Word file. You can use DOC or DOCX. If you're using Google, just a moment. Okay. So if you're using Google, if you're using Excel, see, we are using Google so much that I say Google a lot now. So XLS or XLSX. If you have PowerPoint, PPT or PPTX. So these are the major extensions one can use. So I have said what file type PPTX, and then I'm saying HR again inverted commas because I want one word. I don't want to play with two words. HR policies. Spell error. All right. Now you will see no website link. You will see PPT, 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 and so on. So what it has done easy for you is it is discarded all the website links and showing you only the PPT links. So I can click on one of them. The moment I click, it will start downloading the PPT in my system. It is not going to open the website, and I can open that PPT and see what's new happening. If you want latest information, I'll combine this tool with Google Reverse. I'll go to tools and say past week. So there is no presentation in past week, past month, no presentation past month, past year. So it says past 1 year, there is no presentation. I can change to PPTX to PPT. So like this, if you want to search a doc, you can say DOC, and you want to search let's say payroll, or maybe Excel, because Excel people use more for formats. So I will say payroll format, and here you get format for payroll. I'll say anytime here now. So I'll get these formats, and these are XLS. No website links. You can straight away click on the link, download the Excel format, and see which one is good for you. So this short code is in your chat window if you want to copy paste and keep it. All right. Let's see what we have next in the block. And if I see any questions on the chat, I will be answering them in between so that you get all your answers during the session itself. Next we have is Google Lens. I cannot show you demo, but can tell you this is a wonderful tool. You can use it in your phone. So if you go to Play Store and look for Google Lens, I'll show you the benefit of Google Lens by opening the Google Lens website. So why we should have Google Lens on your phone? The first is, let's say you're traveling somewhere within India also, where you see the language is different. It's not English and Hindi, and you cannot understand other language. You can have Google Lens. Put the Google Lens in front of the picture, whatever pic you see. It can be a billboard or your train ticket or air ticket or anything else. And you will see on the picture on the left hand side, the moment I put my Google Lens in front of this picture, it's the text is getting converted in real time. So from X language to Y language, it's in quick translation. The second benefit of Google Lens is you are shopping something on the local store, you can't find that particular product, you don't like it, but you want something similar. You can take a click, you can just scan the product with Google Lens, and Google Lens will show if that product is available online at what cost. Let's say you went to buy a bag, and what you will do, you will search on the Google and say, I want this bag, go to Amazon and search. Instead of that, just open Google Lens, scan the picture of the product, and Google will tell you in which e-commerce website the product is listed. Another benefit, you can search for different food menus in the restaurants via Google Lens. Next is you can search on monuments. You're standing in front of Gateway of India. You don't know about Gateway of India or any other monument. Scan it with Google Lens, get all the information of the historical. So I'll avoid the guide service and get all the information on a single click itself. You can identify plants and animals. This is something, difficult for me at least to figure out which plant is it. I don't understand trees very well. So I'll use Google Lens, figure out which tree is it and what are the benefit of that trees, and get a lot of answers. So it is increasing my knowledge on a day-to-day basis. What you normally do is, just give an example, waiting in the car for a client, meeting is delayed for 10 minutes. Normally people do is start checking their Facebook, start checking their LinkedIn, or maybe WhatsApp, listening to the songs. Instead of that, use Google Lens for a couple of 10 minutes, and for 10 minutes you are upgrading your knowledge. That's the beauty of Google Lens. And I have tried with my daughter on the stars. So just try tonight on the stars, and you will see you don't see much stars with a naked eye. But if you use Google Lens, you will see more stars on your cell phone in the Google Lens. Moving further from Google Lens. Now let's say sometime it's a conflict to know the website of a company. Let's say you went to a company and the company says we are 10 years old, 15 years old, and are they actually that year old? Because saying and proving is a different thing. So internet has its own time machine. Now if I say I have been into business from last 17 years, how can I prove that? So today I'm showing you the demo of an internet time machine where we can scan any website, how long they have been started, what they were when they started, and what they are today. So it gives you a brief overview also that how difficult one journey can be, and is it a true or a lie. For this, we will use a website called archive.org. So it's an internet library, you can say that. The link is pasted on your chat window. The moment you open archive.org, it will ask you for the website. So I'm entering here my website, www.onlinetroubleshooters.com. So it says 2020, and the first year it says 2004. So 2004 it started detecting my website for the first time. Now 2020, if you scroll down to the calendar, it will show the dates when the website has been changed. So whatever number of time you are doing changes on your website, it will track all those points. So I'll click on this date and see what is the current situation of my website. So today we call it as a company selling web hosting. This is our website today. But what we were in 2004. So now we can go to the time machine in 2004 and click on the date. So in 2004, it was not a company, even though it was a technology website sharing insights. And you see the website looks so nice, it's not readable at all. But the moment we move from 2004 to 2005, you see the change. So this tool can be really helpful to see if you have your own website, your past. If you want to check other people's journey, where they start, you want to truth and lie about the company, you can use this tool and the website. I'm not saying 100% it will answer the questions, but most of the questions will be answered. Another thing, you can get this website content. If it is deleted from the website, you can get it from here. One last case where people say, I have lost my website due to mistake of someone. Even if you delete your website, your content is still lies in the time machine. All the pages of your website are intact as it is. The content, so this content I don't have right now with me, but this content is lying here on the internet time machine. So I can still copy paste and bring it back. So that's your internet time machine, guys. So going for a 20-second pause. All right. Next is Google Currents. Some of you or most of you might be using Google Plus in the past. Uh, this is a news for you that July 6th, 2020, Google has already converted Google Plus to Google Currents, and they are going to launch Google Currents publicly. So you can start using Google Currents for free publicly from July 6th. And the benefit of Google Currents is like similar to Facebook Workplace. If you're using Facebook Workplace, you can engage your employees, connect together with people, your employees basically. You can work towards a common goal. You can communicate ideas, get feedback from your employees. So it's like the internal team network by Google. They're converting a paid tool to free from July 6th. So you can keep an eye on it. The moment it's launched, I can tell you it's a wonderful tool we have used as a paid. Now for free, you're getting it. So keep an eye and use this tool once it comes on July 6th. Next is Google Keep.
Himanshu, Vicky has raised his hand. Would you like to take his question?
Yeah, sure, we can.
Vicky, can you just unmute yourself and ask your question, please? Okay, Vicky, if you have a question, you can also put on the chat. So Himanshu, we can go ahead.
Or maybe Vicky, if you're not audible, if you're not able to speak, you can type a question on the chat and I can take it in the middle of the session itself. All right. Moving further. Looks like someone's mic is unmute with a sound. All right, thank you. Okay, so how Google Keep is going to work is uh, we do a lot of research on internet, finding something, and if we find something, then what happens is we save it as a bookmark. So I have hell amount of bookmarks with me. Then you need a specific time in your calendar to segregate your bookmark, and that's a difficult thing because bookmarks keep on adding. You cannot delete. It becomes sometime a problem. So we will use a tool of Google called as Google Keep to make it more ease. For this, we need to first go to Google and search for Google Keep Chrome extension. Typing this keyword on your chat window. So the moment you get this link, click on it. I have already installed it. For you, it will show you here to install. It's a very easy, quick second. Within 2 to 5 seconds, it will get installed. Once it is installed, then go to Google and let's search something. Let's search hrsuccesstalk.com and let's open hrsuccesstalk.com website. Sorry, Govind, if I'm going to copy some content from the website today. So
that's all right.
Now we seek some content here and oh, design thinking. I want to keep it and my memory is weak. I want to keep it for later on purpose. Maybe I'll read this later on. So I can copy paste in some of my software or something, or I'll straight away right click here and you will see Google Keep Chrome extension. Right click on Google Keep Chrome extension and I will say save current page to keep or save image. So if I say save current page, it will copy paste the current page, but I just want the image. If this image looks really nice, talking about design thinking, so I'll copy this image, save image to keep. The image has been copied. Now it is asking me what note you want. So I'll say the image is related to design thinking for design thinking by HR Success Talk. So maybe I can just let me try again. It has not taken my image. All right, it's here now. And if I want to add label on the right hand side, I can add. We can create different labels. So I can add label. These are the labels I have. You can create more labels later on, but I can select one of the labels. So I'll say one label is check. So I've created label check so that every let's say Sunday in the evening I can check all labels under check what are stored and delete them. Now once this is done, it's already saved. It's an auto save. I'll just click anywhere, it's gone. Now let's say some text. I want to copy this text. Looks like a good text. Google Keep extension, save selection to keep. So again, I will give it a label check and it's saved. Label is given as check. Now let's see what all has been done, what all we have saved. On the right hand side of your Google Chrome, you will see Google Keep extension. Now click on Google Keep extension, or you can go to keep.google.com to open the main page of Google Keep. Link has been pasted on your chat window. Now you will see on the left hand side, check. So here is the text. It has not stored my image, so I think so I have to do it again. Some mistake has been done. So here is my text. If I want it, I can keep it. If I want, I can delete it. I want to share this text to someone. I can send it to someone. As a collaborator, I can send it to, type an email address and send it. I can even take notes. I can write a new note. I can note tomorrow at a certain time. I can add a drawing also. Sometime I want to draw something. Maybe let's forget it. So the drawing is here. I can draw something, a flow chart, and add some notes and share it as a collaborator to other person, and the other person in the Google Keep can complete it and send it back to me. And you can have, so I have, for Cyber, I have a label on troubleshooters. I have a label. I've created a label for resources. So like this, we can create labels. And this is very old. I don't want to keep it anymore. So I can simply go ahead and delete this particular thing because I don't want this note anymore. So Google Keep is very good for your day-to-day research. For HR, you can make a label for HR policies, for HR formats, for let's say anything, HR, the better technical words. Make multiple labels, and on a single click, you get the document, share the document to the person, and it's done. So while searching the website, storing the written Google Keep is going to save a lot of time for you. It's going to be a lot of productive. So that's about Google Keep. Yes, you can keep. Can we open the Google Chrome extension on cell phone? Okay. So for this, I can answer this question very quickly. So what you have to do, Ritu, for Google Keep on the phone, if you want to use, you have to download the Google Keep app. You can see my screen. Is it so? People, you can see my screen.
I
Can I
can,
have yes?
I can see.
Perfect. So Tina's screen is visible. Ritu, you have to use Google Keep app from the Play Store, and it's gonna run fine, absolutely. Can we make any text bold or underline or change on a font? So this is a question I've never tried, but let's why not? Let's try a very quick thing. Let's type hello. So I can give it the color of the background. I can add an image. No, I'm sorry. We cannot give bold or something because this is not like a Word document. It is just storing your notes. So you can just give a background color to the label, but you cannot go ahead and change the fonts and other things. What else we have in the chat window? All right. Perfect. Moving further from Google app, Google Keep.
Himanshu, there is a
Let's see what we have
question that
next. And someone, yeah.
there's a question from Meetu that she would like to know more about Google Current. Would you like to give more thing out there, or do you want me to unmute Meetu and ask the
So
specific
Mitu, I will
question?
say for Google Current. So I will say Mitu for Google Current exactly waits for another 30 days more because you cannot use it for now. So I just got this insight yesterday added to my presentation. So I will better say wait for another month, let it come publicly live. I will be happy to specifically give a demonstration Google Current once it comes out.
All right, thank you.
And
One
Yugi
more
says, yeah, please.
one more question is that, yeah, I think you were taking the same question, that how can this be useful? Anything which you just said so far, how that can be used in hiring?
So let's talk about hiring in a couple of slides. I will be having a specific slide for hiring today. We'll talk on that. Okay, next is Google My Business. Ritu, you say HR bloggers. Do you mean to post HR blogs or do you want to search HR blogs? Please elaborate your question a bit. Post HR success talk is one you can do. And okay, let's do a search on that also if you have asked a question. So I know less about HR blogs, so we can go to Google and see HR blogs as a normal search. Or what we can do is, let me tell you one keyword.
Meanwhile, as you are working on this, Himanshu, maybe I can just tell the audience here that if any of you is a blogger and they want to publish their blogs on our website, which has 30,000 members, and wanted to make sure that this reaches out to 30,000 people, you can leverage our blog, our website as well. But there is a process out there, and which has to be followed, just for information, but nothing to do with Ritu's question. So you can go ahead, Himanshu.
No, but I hope that's the answer of the Ritu question because she has been asking, she's not getting good platform. So Ritu, if you have not tried HR Success Talk, 30,000 in the blog industry is a very fantastic number. So I will suggest try one blog at HSS Talk following the procedure, and the result should be fantastic. So give it a try. I'd be happy to answer if you don't get a good reply on the same later on. Google My Business is basically for people who are into business. So I'll go very short with this tool. I consider a lot of people here in HR must be doing their own business also or job, but this tool can be used to make your presence on the Google or for your company. So let's go back to google.com and search for any company. So if I say I'm searching for online troubleshooters, the moment I do that, on the right hand side, Google is going to show you the map, the reviews, the listing, the address, and everything. So this is what normally Google do for all the businesses. Now, if your business is claimed, that means if you are the owner of your business, then if, like in my case, it says you manage this business profile. But if your business is unclaimed, then here instead of this, it will show you own this business. Anyone in the participant list now, can you share your business name if you have a business something, your business or your company where you're doing on the chat window, please. Quick awaiting for a name of a company. All right. So I'm going to copy Bear International and let's search for Bear International. So now Bear International on the right hand side, because it's listed on the wiki, so it will not show Google Map. Let's try another renting planet. So wiki, can I buy Jupiter from the renting planet? Just a joke. So renting planet, Google Map. All right, it's not showing for renting planet. Let's say Vikas Group. All right, so Vikas Group is showing Google Map. I'm gonna click on Vikas Group corporate office. All right, perfect. This is what I have to show you. So let's say I search for Vikas Group and it shows the Google Map here, but it says own this business. So whenever you see own this business, it means this listing is there in Google, but you have not claimed it. Claiming your business listing is very important. It's free by Google. You just click on it. I'm not going to do further steps because otherwise I'll be, charge of Vikas Group listing. So you have to just request access. Once you request access, you get the listing control with you, and this own the business thing will go away. Once you have the listing access with you, we will go to Google business listing page. The link will be business.google.com pasted in your chat window. So I'll see my location quickly here. And during the COVID time, Google has almost closed all the locations. So don't worry on that. If your location is showing temporarily closed or something, because as soon as you start going to office, Google will again unlock automatically. You don't have to do anything. So that's my listing online troubleshooters here. What all we can do in Google My Business, first thing is you can update your, by clicking on info, you can update your details here, your address, your phone number, special hours, website. You have a link of services. You can add services here. It's like, you have on the website, but you can still add on the services. If anyone has given review, you can reply to the reviews. It is important to reply the reviews to get more attention of your customers. You can add photos. So, on Facebook, LinkedIn, you must be adding photographs of your events, moments, whatever thing you are doing. But on the Google business page, it's also important because Facebook does not get searched by Google, but Google business page is searching by Google. So imagine a new person is applying for a job and they see the new photographs in Google My Business, the attraction is more. You can add a video, you can add your video photographs of your office, exterior photographs. So it's like it's given a leverage to a person to see how your office looks like when they are applying for a job on Google. Uh, and then apart from the photographs, you can even post like the same way you are posting on Google. Sorry, you're posting on Facebook and LinkedIn. You can post an update. Let's say a lot of people are posting on social media. We are now back to work after COVID. That an update here also. If you are running an offer, you can add the event here. If you are creating an event, you can add the event here. So now we create an event on the Facebook, social media, but Google My Business has the moment you add an event here, the event is live on Google My Business. The moment someone is searching on Google about you. So this way you can use Google My Business for your basic information so that Google can search it very quickly. And whatever you put here, trust me, the search in the Google becomes faster. Google is going to list is faster in the search. So that's about Google My Business. The next one we have is Google Trends, a small topic, but to show you what is new in the market, what is trending. So the link is trends.google.com. The link is pasted on your chat window. The moment we open trends.google.com, let's change the country from United States to India. And what to search? Jobs in India, or let's say job talent manager. So I'm just putting some simple search. Yes, the keyword in the past 12 months has been searched in these three more states. And instead of talent manager, people have searched talent acquisition, and people have searched on the left hand side. It will show you if you add any keyword, it will show you in Google so that it says talent acquisition is more into search. So if I say now talent acquisition, now see, okay, I changed the category also. We can select a category. You want the search to have a particular thing, a business or hobby or something, real estate, which category you want the search to happen. So you can change your category. Plus, you can also go to trending search. On the left hand side, if I click on the three lines, trending search will show you what is happening, what is trending right now in the real time. So if I say real time search trends, so past 24 hours, this is what is trending. Specifically, people who are bloggers here, and you don't know what to write on, what is the topmost topic. So right now, people are more searching. The first one is on board of secondary education. This keeps on changing. The graph will, it's not like it will sustain for another 1 hour or so. It may change anytime. And you can change the category. So if I say, I don't see HR will be a specific category, but I can say it to business. So in the business right now, Nikola Motor Company, Tesla, INC is coming on the top. Yatra is on the fourth being searched. So now we have this news, Yatra merger and acquisition. So Yatra is looking for a merger. So people onto shares, they can get some new trending. On the trade market, you get some new quick answers. 53 minutes ago, this is the trend in the market. So the Google Trends, the basic purpose is for a quick research on finding what is new happening around you. That's about Google Trend, people. All right, so moving further, something which is not for me. I'm not so sure it is for you or not, but I'll give you only 10, maybe 30 seconds for this topic. Google public data is for Google public data. Here we go. Link has been pasted. So the first thing we want to know what is the population of a particular city district of a particular country and we want to compare it. So we can compare it. On the left hand side, I want to go to India. So here is India and we have some states here of India, cities, sorry. So I can select, let's say Jaipur. So moment I say Jaipur, it has added the numbers of Jaipur, or I'll say Jammu. So this public data tool is showing you the population numbers. Google public data is only limited to this, but we can have more to be done with Google data search. So I want to search a stats for uh, what word can search for HR. So let's say something related to HR. Again, I'll use the word HR policies, but I'll change it later. HR policies, the moment I search, it will say nothing found. But here is a link for you, which says Google Dataset Search. Click on Google Dataset Search. It will open toolbox.google.com. And now I'm going to type, let's say HR, or maybe we will say human resource. So if any data set related to human resource has been done, it is here. So we say human resource data set. I'll click on it. Now it is showing you some stats, visualization or regression. So some kind of statistics. So this tool is basically only useful when you are trying to find out some stats for a specific thing. You can just search. If it is, just press a word. If it is available, it will show you what all stats are available, and you can download these stats or explore it more. The zip file is there, or do your statistical things. After public data, next is Google Forms. So Google Forms, out of 72, I hope 50% more than people must be using Google Forms. So I'm not going to explain Google Forms in detail. One or two bullet points, I'm sharing you Google Forms, which if you're not using, you can start using from today. So let's go to drive.google.com, and here you can create a new Google form by clicking on new, more, and Google Forms. I'm considering the basic Google form. You can go to YouTube and quick search. Now let's make a Google form. Do you want digital tools training? So I have written the title. Now I want to ask you a question. So I'm saying your name. And the moment I say name, automatically it will show short answer. And I'm saying required, yes. So the person has to answer this question. They cannot run away without answering this question. Let's add another question as phone number. Again, a short answer, or I can change the short answer to, yeah, short answer is good for this. And you can add a filter that it's a number and it has to be equal to 10. So when I say equal to 10, the phone number, so that people, if they're writing a wrong number, 9-digit number or 8-digit number, they cannot do that. I'll also make it required. Now, third question. Do you wish to learn more on digital tools? Now in this, we are going to ask user a drop down. So we want to ask yes and no. So what I'm doing is I've selected a drop down and I'm asking yes, I am interested. No, I am enough with knowledge. So whatever answer, whatever question you want to write, and I'll say required here. Now what I want to do is, if someone says yes, I'm interested, I want to show the person something different. And the moment the person says no, I want to show the person something different. So for this, on the right hand side, you will see these two lines here. This is called section. I will add two different sections here. So the moment I clicked on it, you will see two different sections has come. The first section, I'm saying, yes, I'm interested. No, I'm not interested. And you can add, like, content in it, and you can add, if you want to add more questions in this form. So it's like a secondary form. You have created a form inside the form. So I can add a question more questions within this form, whatever number of questions I want. So for now, I'm deleting it, considering you can add these questions. Now, once it is done, I'll go back to this. Do you wish to learn more on digital tools? Click on it, click on three dots, and then select option, go to section based on answer. The moment you do that, you will see two new elements has been added before yes and no. So the moment someone say yes, I'm saying after you say yes, go to section 1, sorry, go to section 2. And if say no, go to section 3. And in the last, it says, once user has said yes or no, submit form. So I'm saying if someone has completed this thing, then submit the form here. After this is done, click on responses. Now we want to add the responses in Excel sheet. So I can click on the Excel sheet here, create a new Excel sheet and create, so that whatever data gets populated, I will get all the answers in the Excel sheet. Now let's do a live. Oh, I'm so sorry. The screen went off. Here is my form. I'll give a title also. Feedback HR. And here are my questions. Also, I want to store the email address of people. So in the responses, I'll click on the three dots and I'll say get email notification, so that whenever someone submits a form, I'll get a notification from people. And or one more thing I can do is click on the gear icon and we will say collect email addresses. It is by default live, so we will keep it live so that automatically the email address of the person is stored. I'll click on save. Now I have to share this form. For sharing this form, I'll say send and click on the link icon here. I'll say shorten URL so that I get a small URL. I'll copy this and I'm pasting this in the chat window. Can someone try this, filling this form, if it works? If it shows you section 1, section 2 like that. Looks like I lost my chat window. One moment. All right. Can someone try quickly? So I'm going on a break for 30 seconds. Can you try filling this form and see if it actually works? The sheet I have opened in front of you. So if you fill the form, the data should be coming here. I hope some of you, one or two, must be filling this form. "15 seconds passed. I have not seen a window filled. So I hope you must be filling it for now. Let's wait for another 20 seconds to see at least one or two entries. And do let me know if you are able to see section 1 only. Issue in collecting numbers. All right, let me see.
Sorry to interrupt. I think yes, the mobile number issue.
So mobile number is always an issue. So number equals to 10. My mistake. My mistake. So let me remove it for now. Okay, can you refresh and try quickly, please? You have to refresh before try, otherwise it will do the same number game with you. Perfect. So, Govind, when you filled up the form, do you see one section or two sections?
One.
One. So this way, guys, you can, create multiple sub forms using within one Google form, and the Google is going to show you, show the user who are filling up the form that if it says yes, then this form, no, this form. So it can be complex by creating it, while you're creating it, but it will be very good for multiple options, and in one form you can do a lot of things. And see, the moment you are filling it, it is filling my mailbox also, as well as it is filling the Excel sheet. So that's how it works. All right, moving from Google Form
I'm not sure if I can just hold you for a sec. There are certain questions. Would you like to answer them before moving on?
Yeah, sure. We can go with the questions. Yes, for now.
Okay, there's a question that is somebody from our Facebook Live. Please share the procedure of website oblique blogger page share. I don't know what does it mean, but if you can get something out of it.
Can you repeat the question for me, please?
Sure. I think it says that please share the procedure of website oblique blogger page share.
Okay, so they're asking the HR Success Talk website blog link share. So you have to share the HR Success Talk blog link in the comment section of the Facebook so that they can post. They're just asking for the link of HR Success Talk.
All right. There is a question
What else we
on
have?
if there is, it says it's a great session, lot to learn. Would you be doing another session next weekend?
So next weekend, I don't know about next weekend. I'm doing a session now, but yes, I'll be more than happy that if you want to learn more, we have a training program going on, which is an in-depth training program for some 20-25 hours. So if you really want to go in depth, I will suggest to go for that particular program. You can always connect me, or we will share the information on your contact, and you can take a leverage of the same.
All right, thank you.
I suppose we have some ghost voices coming in between. Any other question, Govind, we have right now?
No, please go ahead.
All right. So after Google Forms, today, yeah, please tell me. Sorry.
Well, my question goes back to Google Trends.
Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, go ahead.
So in Google Trends, whenever you search for a query, so on right side, there is an option called related queries. So in related queries, you will see a number between 100 to 1.
Okay.
So can you tell me what those numbers are? I mean, what they suggest? Is it the search volume or the
One moment. Let me do that. Can you see my screen right now?
Yes, I can.
Okay. So I'll search on the left hand side.
So
just a sec. You talk about these numbers coming up by this percentage. So they are showing not the search queries. They are showing that this particular keyword is the search is rising by this particular percentage. It is like in last 24 hours. So here you see this is one moment where it is. Yeah. So this is the percentage. For example, Hunger Games soundtrack. So it is up by this much percentage in last 24 hours. So if it is declining, it will show minus. These are not at all the exact numbers. This is just showing you the upwards and downwards trend. But if you scroll down, again, these are the keywords. Again, it will show you the particular, what do you call it, percentile. But if I go here to trending searches, here it will show you the numbers. Do you see this 50K plus searches?
Yes.
So this is not exact number, but it is telling you that more than 50,000 plus searches has been done on June 6th for manual ELIS. So these are the numbers and those are the percentage. Does it answer your question?
Yes, it answers my question.
All right. So moving further to Google Groups. So Google Groups, I'm just giving you a small demo. I cannot create a quick list. We will be short of time for doing that. But Google Groups, if you're going to use today, you will be saving a huge amount of list. This tool is specifically for the people who says, I want to send emails. So this tool specially goes for two people here. I suppose one for you, Govind, and rest for all, of course. So let's have a look on Google Groups. Okay, here is Google Groups. The link is coming on your chat window in next 10 seconds probably. So what Google Groups does is, we have 10,000 people, customers, employees, or whatever numbers. We want to send an email to them. So we can use a lot of email service to send email, paid service, free service. Google Groups is a service where we can add all those mailing lists in the group, and the moment you send an email to the particular person, particular email address, automatically the email goes to all the email list has been added in the group, as well as people can unsubscribe from the list if they don't want the email should come. Another benefit, to add the person's email address in the list, you don't seek permission. You can straight away add the person's email. So this is kind of tricky also, but it's good. So for example, you have agencies for training, you have agencies for HR, and let's say there are 15 agencies. You want to send them an email for new openings. You can create a group. So you create a group here, and you can name the group. Now this email is important. So let's say I'm saying here HR Success Talk members. So the email HR Success Talk members @googlegroups.com. I'll add the description. I'll give the permission that I want anyone to join, or I'll say only the members. So I don't want to make it publicly live. I'm saying only for the members. So not everyone can see it. And who can join the group? So I can say I want to join only invited users, or anyone on the web, or anyone can ask. So I will say only invited users. So because I want to keep it a closed group. The moment you have created this list, the list has been created. The list is done here. Okay. Now I can add email addresses in it. I can send an email, but before sending an email, I need to add members. But here is a small problem with Google Groups. If you have 10,000 users, you cannot add more than 100 or 200, something like that. Yeah, it is 100. Yeah, you cannot add more than 100 people in one day. So you have to be, it's like you have to spend some time. 10,000 means it will take a lot of days. But once it is added, then you need to you go to my groups, you see your group here, it's your group here, and you can simply manage members. You can add members. So here's a link called adding the members. You can export members from Excel file also. You don't have to add one by one. You have to, it's like 100 in a list maximum. And the moment I send a message, so sending a message, I'll open my Gmail. I'll send a message to HR Success Talk @Google, HR Success Talk members @googlemail.com. The moment I send an email to that ID, it will automatically go to all these people here in the list. So that's all. That's about Google Groups, people here. I hope this tool you can really use to make different lists and save your time, as well as it gives a facility to the people for easy delivery. Plus, they can unsubscribe easily. All right, there's a last tool for the Google.
Great.
Yeah, sorry.
Yes, we are running short of time.
Yes, that's the problem with the technology. The clock runs very fast. All right, so Google design is nothing. I'll share you the link for icons. So sometime in your presentation, you want different icons and you cannot find those icons. So you can have this website, materials.io, and you will see all the icons you want here. It's a long list here. So whatever icons you need, and these are not images. These are SVG files which are lighter in size. You can just click, it's free, and download the file and use this icon in your presentations or anywhere else you can use it. It does not work as image. SVG is a lighter version of an image. Okay, what next we have? So how much time we have going before we go for the question round?
We have just 10 minutes, so I don't know. Like if you
All
are
right.
done, we can start with the question and answers.
Um, uh, my presentation can go for another 2 hours, so I can cut short.
Yeah, I would suggest then if we can just wrap it up in 1 and 2 minutes, that would be great.
So hiring. So people looking for hiring must be using LinkedIn, Facebook jobs, Indeed. Nowadays, Internshala is giving good response. Some people have not used, they can use ISEC also. So these are major platforms where you get hiring. One thing I would like to say, for example, Facebook jobs is free. LinkedIn you do posting, but LinkedIn has a paid version in hiring also. As well as Internshala is free, Indeed is free and paid both. Uh, Always post your job requirement on either Monday or maximum by Wednesday. I'm not saying it not posted on Friday, but if you're posting anything between Monday to Wednesday, the chances of response is more higher. As well as how if you're sending an email, try not to send large emails. Nowadays, we can create some infographics. So let's go to Google again. And you can search for infographics. There are a lot of websites nowadays for infographics. So if you are using infographics, let's say one is Infographia, there are so many others. A lot of them are free and paid even though. So instead of making a normal graphic or normal content, if you are making something which is like an infographic here, and it's easy to create. Maybe I'll go someone else because it's straight taking me to the payment. Okay, here you go. So you can create some nice titles, infographics here, do amendments. Once you have done the amendments, you can download the file and post. So these infographics get better response as compared to normal text, normal pictures, as well as in the images also. Here are some task management tools. You can take a screenshot or note it down. So Todoist, Asana, Trello, and Evernote. There are some tools. Todoist, you can get it for free. The free version is nice. Asana is also good. Evernote, if you want to keep a lot of bookmarks. Trello again. So they're like majorly for your day-to-day routine task management. You can make a note for these tools. Okay, we can do optimizing tools before we end and language tools probably, or maybe optimizing tools, I can do that. So let's go for optimizing tools as a last tool for the day. So let's say you have an image and you want to remove a background. Specifically when you're traveling abroad, your image cannot have a background on the visa applications and other. So I'll use this tool called remove background. The tool sharing it on your chat window also. So let's figure out an image, upload any image. So let's say I'm using this image here. It's uploading. As soon as it is uploaded, the background is off. So this was an original image and the background is gone. So majorly if you have your own, people image, this was a cartoon, and you use this tool, the background is off. Similarly, you can use another tool called image compressor. So if you have heavy images for you and you want to reduce the size of an image, use this tool. Just upload the image what you have, any image, and it will. So it was already 48 KB. It is reduced by 3%. I can try to upload a heavy image. So this is 1.6 MB image. It is reducing, and it says the image has been reduced by 84%. So that means a 1.6 MB image has been reduced to somewhere like 300 KB. So reducing image, it is not reducing the color combinations. It is just reducing the size, maintaining the aspect ratio of the image. That is the use of image compressor. Next, you can use PDF optimizer. So many times you must have a situation where you do not have the PDF tool in your system. And what all you have to do is you have to merge two PDF. You want to split PDF pages. You want to change the size of your PDF. You want to convert your PDF to doc or maybe other format. You want to crop PDF. You want to rotate PDF to 90 degree, 160, 180 degree or 360 degree. You want to reduce the size of your PDF. You want to reorder, like after page 1, page 2 is coming, but page 2 should come after 4. All this situation happens when you have a PDF, but you do not have the writer for it. So you can use this tool. It's a free tool. Upload your PDF, whatever you have. And you can upload the file. So let's not go for the testing. You can just upload the file and utilize this tool. All right, what else I can end with? Okay,
I think we might need to stop, Himanshu.
So let's end this with Unicode. The last tool for the day, started with Google, ended with Google. So Google Unicode is a tool. Let me paste the link on the chat. All right. So let's say sometime you have to type in Hindi, and you know the Hindi typing has to be in such a manner that I can copy and paste in the email. So here I can write in English, and it is not translating. I'm writing in the Hindi words but in English. So let's say I have to select the language first. So I'll select Hindi, and I'll say yaha. So I'm typing in like English, and it is showing me options. And you can copy this content and paste it anywhere in your email box. That's Unicode. So guys, that's all for digital tools today. I hope you can make one or some of them useful for you. Implementation has to be done, otherwise the tools of no use. And hope we can learn together more tools because it keeps on adding. And if you got a query, please feel free, happy to connect. I will be happy to assist you back.